Hey everybody, it's Tyke here today, just by my lonesome. I wanted to talk a little bit about something, probably the most common question I get, and to be fully transparent, it's probably the most important one. After everything we've shared, why we retired early, why we took Social Security at 63, the risks, what our Social Security check actually covers. But people ask, do I regret taking Social Security early? And knowing what I know now, after doing it, having done it, would I do it again? Today, I want to answer that honestly and with our experiences. No sugarcoating, no financial advice. This isn't financial advice. This is just experiences shared that might help you. You'll see me glancing down once in a while. I like to have my notes in front of me. So I apologize for not being newscast ready, but I just thought that this would be something, Tina and I both felt this would be something that would be really helpful. And that's our goal, is to help people. But before I answer that, I want to be clear about something. We just didn't fly by the seat of our pants and make this decision lightly. I didn't wake up one morning and say, hey, let's take Social Security early and hope it works out. We spent years thinking about it, running numbers, talking it through with Tina, looking at what options we had. There are some hard questions that we had to ask about health and time and stress and what I actually wanted the rest of really my life, but our life to look like, because this wasn't a solo decision. So when I took Social Security at 63, I knew the rules. We knew the rules. Tina researched it extensively. I looked into it it was a joint effort. So when I took Social Security at 63, we knew the rules. We knew that the payment would be lower than if I waited to take Social Security later on. And I knew once we started, you don't go back and collect more money. It's irreversible. So there were no illusions. So now, again, to be honest and transparent, there were moments of doubt, especially early on when that first check came in. I remember thinking, okay, this is it. No more waiting. No more, well, maybe if I did it later. And it's kind of a weird feeling, kind of an uncomfortable feeling. It's not that the money wasn't enough, but because culturally, we're told waiting is always smarter. At least that's what the common thread is out there. And so I'd have moments where I'd think, did I leave money on the table? What if something changes? What if I need more later? That's normal thought processes. But if you don't have them, you probably didn't think hard enough about it. So don't beat yourself up if you're doubtful. That just means you need more information. So I would caution you, don't to be too hard on yourself. That's part of the process. Am I making the right decision? Work through those doubts, and you'll come up with the right decision for you. But here's what surprised us, and this is important. So stay tuned. Once the routine of retired life settled in, those doubts didn't grow. They kind of went away. They faded. Not because I ignored them, but because real life started answering the questions for us. I realized that Social Security wasn't meant to replace everything. It was meant to support a life. And for us, it does exactly that. It covers a meaningful part of our monthly needs. It provides consistency. It reduces pressure. And most importantly, it gave me, and more important than that, us, time that I was spending burning out in my career, time I was trading for stress, time I might not get back later. And time is the variable that you can't add more of. It depletes every day. So that's when my perspective and our perspective as a couple shifted. And let's be really clear, this wasn't a perfect decision, but the trade-off is real. So, yes, the check would have been bigger if I had waited. And yes, mathematically, waiting can make sense for certain individuals, and maybe for many people. I don't know if there's a majority that it's right for or not. It's really an individual decision. And dovetailing off that, yes, that decision won't be right for everyone. But for me, the trade wasn't just money. It was stress versus it was a stress versus peace, waiting versus living, and certainly later versus flexibility now. I realized I wasn't trying to win a spreadsheet competition. I was trying to build a life for us that felt sustainable and calm and intentional, that we were making the decisions in. And once we looked at it through that lens, regret just didn't fit. So we didn't regret our decision at all. So let me go back to the core question and answer that directly. Do we regret taking our Social Security early? Me? No, I don't. And that's not because it was the best decision on paper, but it was the right decision for me and for us, most importantly us. And I don't wake up wishing I'd waited. I don't feel anxiety about having started too soon. And I don't feel like I or we rushed into something that we didn't understand. What I feel is peace and clarity. If I could go back and talk to my 62-year-old self, which has been a few years now, I'd say this: don't let fear disguise itself as wisdom, because that's what fear can do. Waiting can be smart, but waiting out of fear of judgment, fear of doing it differently, fear of not maximizing every dollar, that's not entirely wisdom, especially if you haven't penciled it out. If you're just thinking about this superficially, it's not going to pencil until you actually put the numbers on paper. And I'd remind myself that life doesn't run on guarantees, and time, that has a real value. Now, does this mean that this decision always feels right no matter what happens in the future? No, but is any decision guaranteed? Which is why in the next video, we'd love for you to subscribe and stick around and look at our next video. In the next video, we want to share something that's just important. Is what would make us change course if the backup plan we have a backup plan in place if we ever needed to. Because retiring isn't about being reckless. It's about being thoughtful and also having some flexibility. And I hope if this video helped you think more clearly about your own decision, well, we are just thrilled that you're here. And as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.